Hi guys, this is Honey Buns, and today's video is actually quite special because I will be posting this video on January 23rd, meaning yesterday, January 22nd, is actually my 1-year anniversary with my long-distance boyfriend. I would commemorate and dedicate this video to our relationship, which will be 7 things I learned in a year in a long-distance relationship. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1, you have to trust your partner no matter what. Walking into this relationship, the feeling to distrust your partner and think that they are a liar or cheater behind your back is actually pretty strong if you don't have a solid foundation in it. In addition, with long-distance relationship not being popular around majority of people, it is easy to fall into thinking what people will tell you in things such as saying that your partner may be just sweet talking to you, they might be lying to you, that you deserve better, and that maybe they're just using you. Only you can control how these thoughts and imaginations will affect you in the relationship. And also, in the end, it is you who knows your partner the best. So you're the only one who can defend him from what people say. In any other regular relationship as well, trust is very important to have in a relationship. And once that trust is broken, it is really hard to keep that relationship going. Number 2, communication is very, very important in order to make this relationship work. The only thing you have in this relationship to keep it going are words to express your feelings for your partner. Both partners really need to be clear about what they want and are expecting in a relationship. Do not leave it to assuming that your partner knows you well enough to be a legitimate explanation why you don't tell your partner things. By just assuming that, you won't understand each other really well, and this is where miscommunication always kicks in. And that was one of the problems me and my boyfriend had to face. Number 3, leave the past behind. I had a habit of carrying the past into it, so because of this, it made it really difficult for me to open up to my partner. And also, I'm one of those people that would not forget the things that have happened in the past. However, just because it happened doesn't mean that you can just label it onto your next partner, which was my biggest mistake, because I put that expectation on him that he would do something bad, and I expected the worst out of him, that it ended up sabotaging our relationship and making it toxic. I thought I was doing myself a favor, but it did the opposite effect. I practically set myself up for a self-fulfilling prophecy that things will happen this way if I do it this way, and in the end it still happened. I learned that it's good to know what to expect for the worst, but don't hold it against them that they're going to do the same thing as the partners that I had in the past. In addition, it was easy for the two of us to use our past against each other regarding each other during the relationship. Like, we would bring something up, our mistakes that I did, and he would do the same thing with me. It would just start friction. So that being said, arguments in long-distance relationships are pretty intense, and I'll get more into that in another point. Number 4, be compassionate and understanding. This is extremely difficult to maintain, most especially when my partner and I were caught up in a lot of heated arguments in the past. Because I chose to pay attention to his words carefully, I learned more things about him than I thought. And honestly, that's one of the best things you could do in a relationship, is to be mature, not to take their words as daggers, but to use them as leverage to get closer to your partner. Because despite how illogical they may be, there is some truth in their words. You may hear things that they don't really express good enough because most men are not really good at expressing their emotions, especially in relationships. So to get them to open up, one of the best times to actually hear what's in their heart is when they are mad. It's probably one of the most times that they will ever be open about something. Number 5, we are a team. Don't ever forget that any relationship, especially LDRs, take 2 to make it work. The goal is always to fight for the relationship, not turn against each other. So addressing my previous point, I think it was number 2, regarding the fight. In a long distance, it is really easy to turn against each other, especially when both partners are caught up in a heated argument. And there were times when me and my partner would do something really cruel to each other that honestly it's really easy to do in the majority of all long distance relationships when you fight, and that is turning off your computer, hanging up, not talking to them, blocking them. My partner and I did that, and that was pretty hurtful, most especially because in a long distance relationship, all you really have are words and Skyping and FaceTiming, Line, all those stuff. Once you cut off that communication, you have nothing. And to do that to your partner is really cruel. To all couples in long distance, don't ever do that to them. Because in the long run, it's gonna hurt the both of you. And also be considerate of each other, that maybe you just don't want to listen. At least tell them that communication is very important as well. Because you are a team. And it's also very important that both partners are willing to do it. So these are the things that my boyfriend and I did try, and this actually helped us a lot by just stepping out and talking about it later. You know you have a good teammate when he chooses not only to stay for the good moments in your life and the relationship, but also for the bad parts too. Number 6, acknowledge everything they do for you. Compared to a physical relationship where your partner and you are on the same place and same time, acknowledging your partner's effort isn't as apparent. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you told your partner, hey, I wanted to say thank you for spending your time with me even though you're busy working on a project right now? Or, thank you for staying up late with me until 4 in the morning. I'm pretty sure it's not as often that you would say thank you for stuff like that, because you kind of expect that your partner's gonna stay up late for you. That they choose to... or it has become a routine. And it turns out that you take it for granted, right? In an LDR, these are the little things we have to look out for. Especially our relationship, it being a 15-hour difference. Honestly, it is so exhausting, and as I've mentioned before, it is really easy to take these actions and effort into expectations. That was my mistake in the relationship. Now that we went through the mistake and learned together, we realized that both of us, being in college, we want to sleep. We're tired. There's too many things going on in our lives, but we chose to sacrifice some of that sleep on each other just to make our relationship work. Honestly, that's all the time we have. Regarding our super busy schedules, I'm really grateful that he chose me over sleep. And he should be grateful that I choose him over sleep as well. There's more to it, like, after taking things for granted at the beginning and making so many mistakes, I realized there's so much effort that a lot of couples forget, and a lot of times couples forget to thank their partners for. I think that's one of the greatest things about a long distance relationship, is that it makes you wake up. It makes you realize a lot of things, which leads to number 7. Long distance relationships are probably one of the best learning experiences personally I've ever had in my life. Of course, long distance relationship is not for everyone. It's really hard to maintain. It takes a lot of sacrifice, takes a lot of time, and it's really exhausting. To sacrifice so much to gain something so little of their time to spend with you, the ratio is off, but honestly, just that little time, it's enough. No matter how little the thing is, it is worth it. Calvin means a lot to me. And I'm just grateful that we even have the time to spend it with each other. LDR is really for a mature pair. It really requires both partners to put a lot of effort and dedication to keep the relationship strong. Why are you licking me? But also, in a long distance relationship, the love in it is so amazing and so delightful, honestly. Not only did I learn things about my partner, but it also made me realize things about myself, because it forced me to be independent and to avoid falling into codependency while I was still with him. This meaning that one of the cons for being in a long-distance relationship is that there are moments in the relationship that you will go through difficult situations and your partner isn't going to be there for you because he's either asleep, working, or in class. This is something I was caught in throughout 2016 because I went through a lot of tough moments and my partner wasn't there for me. I mean, in a long-distance relationship, he's not obligated to be there and figure out my problems for me. Which is something that most relationships shouldn't be based on either. Like, it's good that you have a partner you can lean on, but don't let them fix your problems for you. And this is what long-distance taught me. This is another reason why it is a very mature relationship. It's because it really does force you to just handle things by yourself before you can trust your partner with it. It goes to show that you have to be responsible with your own things before sharing it with someone else as well. But because of that, it really encourages you to be your own person in the relationship as well. Not be trapped in knowing that you're changing yourself for this person or seeing that. In my case as well, it taught me how to build myself. It taught me how to build my own strength and to find my interests without him influencing me. In addition, I was free to do any activities without him. Not just with him when he's awake and I'm awake and we spend time together, but also when he's away, I'm doing my own thing. I'm singing covers on YouTube. I'm making YouTube videos without him. I'm watching Korean dramas without him. And when I'm with him, I'm watching Rooster Teeth with him. I'm watching all those stuff. It's really good because I really like how the dynamic is very flexible. I was free to exercise and figure out things for myself and for him as well, and also figure out things together. Another thing about long-distance relationship is that it made me think realistically about the future. Because you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna move there, or he's gonna move here. We have to really think it through. There has to be an end game in a long-distance relationship. Right now, just being realistic, we're just college students. We're both aiming for our master's degree. We still don't know what's gonna happen to us. But all I know right now is that we hope we could last long. We hope there's a future for us. But who really knows? All we can do right now is just appreciate what we have. Appreciate the present. The future will carry itself out. So we don't want to stress ourselves out for that yet. We just need to take today, one day at a time. And for all LDR couples out there as well, just live in the moment. The future can wait. Just figure things out as you go right now. And appreciate the time you have together because who knows how long you guys will last, right? Most importantly, long distance relationship didn't just help me realize the kind of person I was in the relationship, but also who I wanted to be in it, and who I want to be individually as well. All in all, I never regretted it. This is the end of the video, and of course, I will end it with a closing quote. This one is by Deep King, and it says, "Love will travel as far as you let it. It has no limits." As I've stated before, long-distance relationships are really difficult to last. And they are extremely rare, if that happens. Today's technology, I honestly think there's no excuse why it can't last for long. Because people can just complain that, oh, I can't do this because physical contact is so badly needed. But if you think about it, at least your love isn't based on physical needs. Long distance is mentally and emotionally committed to be with this person, to just want to be with them. You just see beyond just what's physical. Although I can't admit that without physical you can't really last either. But you know, the wait is worth it. After all, My sister and I are products of a long-distance relationship. My parents were in a long-distance relationship for 7 years overseas. If my parents could do it with just a phone call and writing letters, why can't we do it with today's technology? I really hope that this video inspires you guys and perhaps also changes your perspective on couples in a long-distance relationship. If you guys are interested in more LDR relationship talks, perhaps I can talk more about it next time. Until then, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!